Hello, welcome back. This lesson is gonna be quite short because I just want to talk to you about two issues: the non-conventional viruses and the prion diseases. So let's talk about the non-conventional viruses first. You need to know that there are some viruses which are not typical viruses. For example, there are some viruses which are only made of genome without any protein structure. These viruses are essentially made of a single RNA molecule, circular molecule, which has RNA interfering activity, essentially. You find a lot of these viruses in plants, for example. Then there are other viruses which are normally structured but are not able to infect any cell without the presence of the so-called helper viruses. One of this kind is, for example, the hepatitis D virus, which needs the presence of hepatitis B virus. We will talk about it later in another lesson, one of the following lessons. Let's talk about the prions. What are the prions? The prions are proteins that you normally find in your cells, in our cells in general. And especially you can find them in neurons. And they have a very important activity. Actually, they have a lot of activities which are essential for the vitality of the neuron. For example, the prions are important in many signaling pathways, and they are also important in protecting the cell from the oxidative stress. In prion diseases, what happened? It happens that these proteins are mutated. Beta sheet structure, they are not able to be excreted anymore and they are not solvable anymore. So what happened? It happens that they accumulate inside the cell and they attract water inside the cell. So the cell dies, essentially. So, the prion diseases are characterized by being essentially neurodegenerative diseases. They are called spongiform encephalopathies, like the bovine one that you may know as mad cow. Other characteristics are that the mortality associated with them is really high and the incubation is really long, and when the symptoms appear they lead to death in about 1 or 2 years. Another important thing is that our immune system doesn't respond to the disease because it doesn't recognize the prion proteins as to be dangerous. Because remember that our immune system always responds when it understands that there is something external in our body, something that it doesn't belong to our cells. But in this case, the prion proteins belong to our cells and they are essential for neurons. So another important thing is that in these diseases there is no inflammatory response, and for this reason there is no efficient therapy and there is no spontaneous healing, unfortunately. Some of these diseases are, for example, Kuru disease or Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease or Gerstmann-Straussler-Scheinker disease, GSS in short. Then there is the fatal familiar insomnia, and scrappy. The diagnosis is made by extracting DNA in the infected tissues. And do you know how to catch these diseases? You catch these diseases by eating or just being in contact with infected tissues. So be careful. I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye!